So, evaluation of financial statements. As always, the first question we ask ourselves is what are the options available to the examiner? In other words, what are the styling of questions that the examiner is likely to bring to us when it comes to this key area, evaluation of financial statement? As I say always, it is important you have an understanding of what to expect in the exam hall. Position yourself very well so that when you go to the exam hall, you will not be surprised. There are 6 styling of questions that the examiner can bring when it comes to evaluation of financial statements. Now, those of you studying under my mentorship, you have access to the document already, which is the ratio analysis principle document, but I'm going to just discuss the styling of questions. So, in this area that we're going to be seeing in the exam, or question 5 for corporate reporting students, question 4 for financial reporting students, there are 6 styling of questions that the examiner can bring to us. And knowing the style of question and how to approach it is going to play a key role in our ability to excel in the exam, or especially when it comes to dealing with this area of the examination. The first one is simply to calculate the ratios and analyze the performance of the entity. This styling of question is the easiest. You are not going to be doing anything. You are just presented with financial statement. There are no nuances there. Just a simple statement, financial statement, and you calculate some ratios, profitability ratios, liquidity ratios, efficiency ratios, and probably some investors ratios. Then you interpret. That's the first styling of question. The second styling of question is where the examiner says, listen, hey, listen, I don't want you to do any calculation. All I want you to do is to analyze the performance of the organization. And so in that styling of question, the examiner is going to present you with the ratios in the question. Then all you are required to do is to write out the analysis. That is the second styling of questions when we come to the evaluation of financial statement. The third styling of question is going to be what we call vertical or common size analysis. So vertical or common size analysis has to do with where the financial statements are presented in percentages. So for instance, when it comes to the statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income, each line item is going to be taken as a percentage of total revenue. So instead of you seeing the statement of financial performance, revenue, cost of sales, and seeing figures, this time around you are going to do percentages. In the statement of financial position, usually, the total asset will be the base amount. And so each line item will be taken as a percentage of the total asset. That is the idea about vertical or common size analysis. And we may be asked to either prepare and analyze, or the examiner will prepare it for us. Then all we are required to do, or we will be required to do, is to analyze it. So that is the third styling of question that we need to be mindful of. The fourth styling of question is going to be where there is changes in business or changes in operations. What does this mean? This simply means that the entity is going to sell part of the business at the beginning of the year, in which case it means the previous year financial statement may be a consolidated financial statement, and the current year financial statement has to be adjusted, and so it is a single entity financial statement. In that environment, how do we compute the ratios? What are the adjustments we are required to make? And how do we analyze the financial performance and position of the entity? Another styling of the change in business or operations is where there is acquisition. So at the beginning of the year or during the year, the entity acquires another business. Okay, so what is that? What does that mean? It means that the previous year financial statement may be a single entity financial statement, and the current year financial statement may be consolidated financial statement. And so in those styling of questions, how do we calculate the ratios? What adjustments are we required to make? And most importantly, how do we analyze the performance and position of the entity? So that is the fourth styling of question, changes in ownership. The fifth styling of question, finally, for financial reporting students, is the financial statement with additional footnotes for adjustments. What does that mean? It means here you are going to be making some adjustments to the financial statement. The difference between the fifth styling of question and the first styling of question is that in the first styling of question, there are no footnotes. You are just calculating ratios with a financial statement given. But the fifth styling of question, there are footnotes, and the footnotes will then require you to make adjustment to the financial statement. Usually, in that styling of question, the adjustment that you will make to the financial statement will be dependent on your understanding of the IFRSs. It means that if you are weak on the accounting standards, you are going to have a problem in your ability to address or answer questions relating to where we have the financial statement and the additional footnotes. And that will also going to feed into the way we are going to be analyzing the financial performance, the liquidity position, the working capital efficiency, as well as if we are supposed to do gearing ratios, how we analyze that. So for financial reporting students, these are the 5 styling of questions. So as you are going into the exam hall, one of these 5 styling of questions will be waiting for you in the exam hall. The only way you can excel in this area, which is question 4, for financial reporting student, is to solve and understand the principles underlining each of these styling of questions. Because each of them, the examiner can decide to bring any of them in the exam hall. Now, for corporate reporting students, in addition to these 5, is the last one, and that is called the consolidated cash flow analysis. Now, corporate reporting, in the consolidated financial statement, you're going to be doing consolidated cash flow. But then, as part of question 5, we could be asked to perform a consolidated cash flow analysis. So here, we're not going to be preparing the consolidated cash flow. It will be prepared for us, and we need to analyze the cash flow. So when it comes to the ratio analysis, question 4, financial reporting students, question 5, corporate reporting students, these are the alternative styling of questions that the examiner is going to be presenting. So before you walk into the exam hall, you need to expose yourself to questions covering each of these styling, each of these areas. If not, you get to the exam hall, you have studied your ratios, you have chewed baba on some of the ratios and the calculation, but if you are not familiar with the styling of the questions, you're going to walk away from that question with au revoir mon ami, Zokbo. And that is the first thing I want you to understand, the styling of the question. The styling of the question. So one of these waiting for you in the exam hall. That's the first thing I want you to be mindful of as we get into this discussion. And so if these are the styling that the examiner is going to be bringing to us in the exam hall, it is important we understand the underlying principle. As I said, this is our ratio analysis principle guiding document, and we used it. For those of you who are learning under my mentorship, you have access to this document already, and the principle guidelines are available on what you are supposed to do under each of the styling of the questions, the adjustments required, and most importantly, the way you are going to be interpreting the ratios. So we're going to be coming back to some of these things during our executive revision masterclass, but you have this already to give you the blueprint in respect of how you can prepare yourself for the examination. For the last time, before you go into your financial reporting or corporate reporting examination, you have to solve at least one question coming from each of these styling of questions, knowing the adjustment you have to make, and most importantly, how you do the calculation and interpret the ratio. That is going to be important there. The final thing I want to add quickly is corporate reporting students, is the fact that evaluation of the performance of the company is not just about financial performance indicators. Okay? Now we have non-financial performance indicators. So not only are we interested in, profitability of the entity, liquidity of the entity, gearing of the entity, the investors ratios, we are also interested in the non-financial performance indicators, like the social and environmental issues. And so for those ones, the examiner is going to give us the indicators in the exam hall, and so we must know how to interpret them. And the treatment here is pretty simple. For instance, if we are dealing with environmental issues, we can have a freestyle to say that, hey, carbon emission. So when it comes to carbon emission, we can say that 20x5, 20x6. So when it comes to carbon emission, Last year, the entity did maybe 160,000 kilograms. Then this year, 20x6, which is the current year, the entity is doing 185,000 kilograms. Stay with me. This is carbon emission, the amount of carbon monoxide or toxic gases that an entity's operation is emitting into the environment. That can come as a result of the production system that the entity is using, which is emitting a lot of toxic gases into the atmosphere, or the distance between where the entity buys its inputs and where the factory is located, or where the entity's factory is located and its final consumers. So if there is a big distance between the factory and final consumers, or where the inputs are and the factory, then there is going to be an increase in carbon emission by the entity. And so the entity must then adopt environmentally friendly way of doing business. For instance, they must find a way to reduce the distance between input and the factory, and find a way to reduce the distance between factory and then what? The final consumers. Because this is very important. Or better still, use an environmentally friendly delivery system or input sourcing system so they can reduce their carbon emission. Now, if you look at this example we have here, 20x5, they did 160,000 kilograms. 20x6, which is the current year, they are doing 185,000 kilograms. So there is an increase in the carbon emission footprint, or the carbon footprint of the entity, 15,000 kilograms. From an environmental perspective, that is not good. It means that the entity's operation in the current year had negative impacts on the environment than in the previous year. Now, this is likely to affect the reputation of the entity, the customer base, or the access of funding to the entity. And so, as a recommendation, we may recommend to the entity in our conclusion paragraph that the entity must adopt an environmentally friendly ways of doing business. And that could mean that they may decide to say that they will use renewable energy in their factory, or they may decide that instead of using fuel vehicles for their deliveries, what would they do? They will use robots, they will use drones, they will use electric vehicles and charge those electric vehicles with renewable energy. Then in the future, they can reduce their carbon emission or their carbon footprint. What am I trying to say here? What I'm saying is that in corporate reporting, we are not just going to be dealing with the financial performance indicators. We are going to be dealing with environmental and social issues. And you must understand the implication of the entity's operation on environmental and social issues. Final example, possibly then we can get excited into the question, could be maybe pay ratio. Okay? The pay ratio. So if the pay ratio, which means we are looking at a pay ratio between men and women, right? These day and age, women empowerment and those things going on, pay ratio is going to be key. How much does the entity pay its male employees as compared to its female employees? That is very important. So let's say that the pay ratio is maybe 2:1 last year, and this year it is now 3:1. What does that mean? It means in the previous year, male employees earned twice what female employees were earning. But in the current year, male employees are earning 3 times female employees are earning. Again, this is a poor on the part of the entity, because it means that the entity is not paying the female staff of the organization like they are paying the male staff. What does that mean in the social environment? It means that people or the organization does not respect or recognize the contribution of women in the entity's operations and the entity's success. That is why the ratio of pay to male and female has even gone up at the expense of women. Now, that would be a poor reputation on the entities at the end of the day, and that could affect funding sources. It could affect the reputation of the entity, and that means this company may not be attractive for women. Because if you're a woman and you come to this company, you are going to be earning, even if you have the same qualification with the man is going to be earning 3 times what you are earning, or you are going to earn 1/3 of what your male counterparts are earning. And that is not a good thing on the part of the organization. And so corporate reporting students, beyond profitability ratios, liquidity ratios, efficiency and working capital ratios, gearing ratios, investors ratios, we must be mindful of the non-financial performance indicators. Please note, the one that the examiner will bring will depend on the context of the question. And so what you need to do as a student is to familiarize yourself with some of the general KPIs, non-financial indicators that organizations use to measure their performance. And you can do that by reading the annual report of companies. So for instance, if you look at financial statements of companies like EcoBank or Scancom PLC, MTN, and some other companies, you will see sustainability reports in their financial statement. Those they use certain KPIs there to tell their story as to the things that they are doing in the environmental front and the social fronts at the end of the day. And that will help you to have an understanding of some of the KPIs in the non-financial performance indicators that the examiner could ask you about in the exam hall. And when the examiner asks you, you should be able to interpret it the way I have done here when it comes to the evaluation of the financial statement. These are the things that you must understand as the introductory discussions when it comes to evaluation of financial statements. So two things. One, we must know the styling of the question based on the options available. One of them will be there in the exam hall. And then two, for corporate reporting students, it is important we understand that we will be using both financial performance indicators and non-financial performance indicators to evaluate the financial performance and position of the entity. And the more questions that you solve, the better your chances of having a deeper understanding of how these things are supposed to be. And that is where our practice question courses will help you. So if you are looking for more questions like this to help you, and we have, for instance, financial reporting and corporate reporting, you can see it here. We have the course broken down. So under the standards, we have it broken down: single entity, specialized transactions, evaluation of financial statement, consolidated financial statement, everything. Carefully selected questions from ICA, ACCA, SEMA, ICAN, various other sources, carefully selected to help you so that you can expose yourself to a lot of questions and see how the principles apply. So you can get access to our practice question courses available on our website and get access to more questions like this. You can download the questions and the solution. Then you can watch the videos explaining the answers and walking you through the solution at the end of the day. Now, remember, your enrollment in our practice question course also gives you the opportunity to be able to join our executive revision masterclass. So for those of you who will be interested, you visit our website and you'll be able to enroll in this, or you can send us a message on WhatsApp and you'll be assisted. And we have the courses for financial management, public sector, advanced audit and assurance, management accounting, financial reporting, corporate reporting. And that's the beauty of these practice question courses, to expose you to questions in the various topics covering various areas to enable you so you can go into the exam hall equipped with the knowledge required so you can pass the examination at the first attempt. So you want more questions like this, visit our website and complete your enrollment for them.